So let's kick things off with a big question. Probably one of the biggest challenges in HR today. You're sitting on this mountain of people data, right? But how do you actually make it count? How do you turn all those numbers into real, actual business impact? Well, to help us answer that, we're going to dig into a really practical guide. It's called Counting What Matters in HR, Analytics You Can Use Tomorrow. And the name says it all, right? This isn't about some far-off theory. It's all about stuff you can put to use right away. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the core problem, the data dilemma. Then we'll introduce a hands-on solution, look at how it works, see who it's really built for, and then wrap up with a playbook of takeaways for your own career. Okay, let's jump right into section 1, the HR data dilemma. This is all about that struggle, that challenge of getting from just having data to actually making decisions with it.
Does this sound familiar? I bet it does. HR departments, they're drowning in information. Hiring stats, performance reviews, attrition rates, you name it. But connecting all of that to the company's bottom line and really proving the value of what HR does, that is a constant battle.
So how do we bridge that gap? How do you go from data-rich to insight-driven? That's what we're going to cover next, where we'll look at a guide that's designed specifically for people who want a real, hands-on solution.
And this guide we're talking about today, it's pretty much the direct answer to that dilemma. Think of it as a workbook, just packed with real-world examples. It gives you the actual tools you need, the analytics, the metrics, the playbooks to just get the job done.
And here's the part that really got my attention, the timeline it promises. We're not talking about some long, drawn-out academic project. The whole point is to start seeing measurable impact in just 30 to 90 days. It's all about getting those quick, tangible wins. So how in the world does it deliver on a promise like that? Well, that brings us to its core idea, its methodology. It's all about getting from theory to real impact, with a huge focus on learning by doing. The process is actually super straightforward. You start with a little bit of theory, just enough to get you going, but then you immediately jump into running small, low-cost experiments to test out your ideas. From there, you build dashboards to see what's going on, and pretty soon you're creating actual data products that the business can use day to day. And this really shows you the shift in thinking. You know the old way, right? You commission some expensive, super time-consuming report that's out of date almost as soon as it's printed. The new way, the one we're talking about here, is all about being agile. It's about running these low-cost, repeatable experiments that just keep generating value. And check out this quote, because it really gets to the heart of why this is so practical, especially if you're early in your career. It's not just about doing the analysis. It's about creating conservative, totally defensible ROI calculations, the kind you can confidently walk into a job interview or a performance review with. Okay, so who is this really for? Who gets the most bang for their buck with this kind of approach? In this next section, we're going to break down the specific groups that will get the most value. First up, it's designed with HR MBA students in mind. For them, this is the perfect way to nail those capstone projects or, add some serious analytical muscle to their internship work. And then, of course, we have the early career HR analysts. If you're the person who's been tasked with building the very first dashboards for your company or launching a new analytics function, this is basically your step-by-step playbook. And finally, it's a fantastic resource for faculty and trainers. Why? Because the guide is just loaded with applied case studies and exercises that are rooted in real-world situations, especially in Indian workplaces, which makes the learning incredibly relevant and sticky. This table just pulls it all together so well. Let's take a quick look. For the HR MBA student, the use case is capstone projects, and the benefit is job readiness. For the early career analyst, it's all about building dashboards and proving their impact. And for faculty, it's a goldmine of classroom exercises and case studies. See? Every group gets a really direct, tangible benefit out of it. All right, let's wrap this up in our final section, your HR Analytics Playbook. What are the key things you should be taking away for your own career? Okay, I think there are 5 big ideas to really hold on to. First, it's all about hands-on learning. Second, it's laser-focused on that defensible ROI. Third, and this is huge, it builds your communication and product mindset, not just your tech skills. Fourth, it's ready-made for the classroom. And finally, its relevance to real Indian workplaces is a major plus. So, if you take away just one thing, let it be this huge shift in mindset. You stop being the person who just reports on what already happened. Instead, you become a creator. You build operational data products, tools and systems that help the business make better decisions right now, today. And that leaves us with one last question to take back with you. It's super simple, but it is so powerful. Just look at the reports and the metrics you use every single day and ask yourself and ask your team, are we counting what truly matters?